You are now listening to the Astral Hour. I'm your host, AstralMeadow. Join me as we take a glimpse into the mysterious. Welcome, everyone. I'm joined today by the multi-talented Rose Marie Machario, actress, model, and filmmaker whose creative expression flows through every facet of her life. Beyond her work in the arts, she is also an inspirational tarot reader who writes and channels most of her readings, weaving intuition and storytelling together beautifully. Her daily rituals include yoga and reiki, and her love for music and holistic living infuses in everything she creates. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so honored.
Yeah, I'm so excited to do this. We set it up so long ago, so it's just been in the back of my mind, anticipating this beautiful connection with you. And I
Me
was able
too.
to have a reading with you in the meantime, which was nice. So I have a little bit of feedback I can give when we start to talk about some of your work. But just to get started, for those who don't know you, you wear many creative hats. Could you kind of share a little bit about some of them, a little bit about yourself and your spiritual journey with us?
Oh wow.
Big question.
There's so much. How about I start at the beginning and work where it led me? So
Perfect.
uh technically I started getting back into modeling after a really long hiatus. Like I was modeling when people were still using print. And then I stopped. Then when I got back into it, it was all digital. So that was fun. And Bob Cassidy was probably definitely my most favorite photographer that I've ever worked with. And if it weren't for him, I wouldn't have got into acting and I wouldn't have, gone that route. In the meantime, while I was doing that, I was working on my first three fantasy novels, the Magic of the Chosen One series, and for 9 years, I kept getting no's from publishers, small presses, literary agents. So I was doing a lot in rotation with doing all the things what other things while I was trying to get my books published and writing different things and just kind of letting them sit in my hard drive. Aside from the modeling and the acting, then I kind of got into doing some of the local film festivals and writing my first script and it going into one of those like quickie like let's hurry up and do this within so many days. I don't want to do that again ever. No, that was just too much. I like it to be like chill and work through things and do things kind of later. So later I did try my hand at not only just writing a script and being the director and, and then being a producer and being in it. That was a lot, but it was fun and it was a really good experience. I would do that again. Maybe more so of having someone else act at the same time of, being in it. Um, I want to be like, those filmmakers that just kind of pop in and have like a really small role. And that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
Uh, as far as like, where am I? So after doing all of those things and finally getting my books published by Seventh Star Press, that was an amazing milestone, I think, in my history of being alive. Um, and then from there, I've just kept writing, and then I got into doing my daily life. Oh, what am I thinking? My little daily posts that I would do. I haven't done them in so long that I forgot what I was calling them. But I do include it with my readings. So I ended up going from that to finally getting into doing readings publicly. I've been kind of reading tarot and stuff since 1988. Just a really long time. But only the last 3 years have I done it publicly.
Mhm.
So I kept getting that ringing in my ear that would not leave me alone. Uh, I would go set up for reading, doing book signings and stuff, and people ask me, "Are you doing tarot card readings?" No, I got here with my books, but I kept getting asked. It didn't matter where I was. I could be in just a bookstore, and people would come up and ask. So I had some really good friends tell me that maybe I should actually try it. So I did, but I don't like to do anything easy. So I started writing my own readings, and the Inspirational Life Path was the very first one, and then it had babies. So I think I'm caught up.
Yeah. Yeah, you're so multifaceted. Like the longer I know you, the more I discover these things about you. I'm like, what? What do you mean? Because I met you a little later, so I didn't know you were an author at
Yeah,
first. I was like,
yeah.
oh, she's this amazing witchy tarot reader, so I knew you, that part of you. And then the longer I've known you, you just continue to amaze me at all of your talents and the way that you weave your magic into your life. It's just beautiful to witness. And I've been honored to have a reading with you. So I would like you to explain a little bit about, how you're writing the tarot readings, because that was something very unique that I had never experienced before. Um, and how you approach that with this kind of intuitive and creative process, how you're bringing that into your readings.
Oh, I channel when I write. I guess it's just kind of been a thing since being an author. I handwrite all of my books first before I type them, which is I'm thankful for the speaking speak into it and then it types it for you. I don't know what it's called, but I digress. So whenever I start doing a card reading, depending on it's different for everybody, and it's not something that's always spot on. Sometimes I have down days and I just blatantly read the cards and kind of write down what it is. But sometimes I don't know if there's a light that comes on in the tunnel, or my spirit guides like to play nice with someone else's spirit guides. Uh, and if that happens, then I'm telling people things about themselves that there's no way I would have known.
Mhm.
I have mentioned past relatives that have moved on, or just other people in their lives that
Mhm.
they didn't tell me. I don't like people to tell me anything except for like a generalization. I'm like, hey, what kind, if you're, especially if they're just getting like a 1 card or 3 card reading, I'm like, well, what kind of something would you be interested in knowing, but be generic, like money, love, fame, fortune, just very generic. Don't tell me anything else but your first name, because I don't want to know anything. I don't want to be influenced.
Mhm.
It's hard enough being an empath sometimes, and to have like all the clairs at once, it gets difficult to focus. So I try not to focus. That's why I channel when I write, because
Mhm.
when I do that, then all that energy just kind of just flows. And whether it's someone else's spirit guides, my spirit guides, or whoever is coming through, or just the energy that's coming through, I just write it down. And it could be the basic, most regular tarot cards, and I'll get something different out of all of them. It could be just the Rider Waite, and it'll be like, oh, well, I'm seeing this color. This is this chakra, or I'm seeing this color, and or this little person, a teeny tiny little back. Yeah, that little person there. Yeah, they're talking about you. Just little things like that. That I don't know if I hyper fixate on it, or I'm just like drawn into it. Like someone's like, look.
Right.
So I don't know. I just kind of always feel kind of weird about it sometimes. Like I feel like a crazy person. Um, I've finished a reading and then 20 minutes later something else will pop up, especially if they have somebody that was active,
Hmm.
and they'll start telling me things and I'll write it down, and then the next time I see them I'll say something. Or I've been known to be like shouted out later, like after they're done with the reading and they're
Hmm.
wherever they are shopping or something. I'll be like, hey, don't
Right.
forget. But it's just, I don't know, I guess weird like that.
Yeah, I
It's
really,
probably one of the most things that I do that I have the least bit of confidence in, aside from the music thing, but I haven't even mentioned that part. But yeah, so
well, you're really good. You're really good at it. I wouldn't have known that you hadn't been reading professionally for, you know, a decade because you were just, it seemed to just flow through you. I really loved how you kind of grounded the practice in the beginning and like let me open my records and like it just there was like a chance to kind of just relax and tune in versus it being like really sped up. Let's get as much as we can in like 20 minutes. But I did get a longer reading because I wanted to have that and it felt really nice to be in your energy and like you were holding the space for me as we because we did like past lives and things were coming forward. So it was a lot. I'm still kind of integrating it because you pulled so much in that hour. Thank God I was grounded. But um that I'm still getting like impressions of things that you said that, were kind of new. It was like a new lifetime I hadn't discovered. And then I'll see something and I'm like, oh, that's what Rose was talking about. But after the reading, I'm talking like 3 minutes. Like you had talked about magnolias. I know you don't know anything about my history, okay, about my childhood. And you had brought, I think, a mothering energy up and a dove. So doves follow me. I always joke about being stalked by doves. It's not a spirit animal I chose. They chose me. So doves are just everywhere for me. So when you brought that up, I was like, oh. So I'm like really listening. And then you start talking about magnolias, which were my mother's favorite. It's like a flower. It comes from a tree, but like she had magnolias everywhere. And I have a really traumatic relationship with my mother. So when she came forward, it's interesting because I almost have to have another person hold this for me because I cannot handle her by myself. So she only comes forward if someone's reading for me. And I didn't think about this. I pull out of the place that you're reading for and I went right instead of left. I don't know why I did that. I drive by the Moose Lodge. My mom bartended there for like 10 years as a child. And I was like, shit, that's that Magnolia. And I just wasn't thinking, like, because I hadn't been in Oak Ridge on that back road since I was a kid. And then I was like, oh no. And it was like all this healing comes forward. And I think that's where the dove comes in, right? It like brings peace and comfort. And then a few weeks later, I was back in Oak Ridge for whatever reason at the Arboretum, and all the magnolia trees were like full bloom. And so your reading stuck with me, and it just kept speaking to me like for weeks after, in a really living way, like seeing it in my outer life. And I'm like, it just it was magical. It was really powerful. And I don't always have that experience. It's usually some like really fast, it's like I integrate what was received and move on. But yours was like it opened like this portal of healing. And so I never got to tell you that. But um, you definitely have a gift. You're accessing stuff and you're able to like translate it in a way that was gentle enough for me to go through that without feeling afraid because I don't normally love attaching to my mother's energy. So, um, it was really cool. And the way that you wrote it is cool because I can come back to those pages that you gave me. So it also makes it tangible, instead of just having like, oh, I think it was like the Knight of Swords, where it's like hard to remember. Well, I've got your handwriting here. And it's like sometimes certain words will on certain days jump out more that didn't originally. So it's really cool. I've never seen anyone do it like that. And then your pendulum work was very inspiring. I always make my husband do the pendulum stuff around here because I was just like, I do all the other things, but I'm like, you are the yes or no, dude. Like, I'm not, you got to tell me which way to go. But I loved how you used the pendulum to kind of guide it. Um, and you had this quirky relationship with it, like you're talking to it. It's just like I could tell you had bonded with your tools, in a really living way. So I just really appreciated it. And it was so cool to get to experience it firsthand so that I could tell this to the listeners. And you do a lot of local stuff. Do you also do things like on Zoom or
No.
with you? No, just okay. I
I'm
think it
just an
being in person was,
in-person
yeah.
kind of thing. So
Yeah, it felt special, like for the in-person experience. So that's really an honor that you hold that space for our local community. So,
I try. And I can't, as you had mentioned, like it was an hour. I'm thinking it was just an hour usually.
right.
I
Yeah.
I don't like to put a time limit
Hmm.
on what comes through. And especially if someone's getting one of the longer readings, I'm like, all right, it's this time before closing, or it's this time, do you have the time? Because
Hmm.
I, especially with like the ancestral readings, um, there's no telling what comes through. So, or how, sometimes it could be real short. Sometimes I don't get anything and nobody wants to say anything. And they're like, yeah, crazy lady, go on, shoot. But sometimes, it's very open and the energy flows really, really well. And I don't want to stop that,
Hmm.
So if somebody comes in and looks at my menu and is like, well, what about this reading? I can generally, first do the timeline, like, okay, how much time do you have? Because I want to put in as much time for them. I can't do speedy readings. I can get through a 3 card pretty
Hmm.
decent, but I don't like to rush. Um, for the 13 Goals of a Witch, that one is more less channel and more tell it like it is. So I can get through that one a little quicker because 13 cards is a lot to go through individually, but I do. So, and then I feel like I don't need to keep what I write down. That's for
Hmm.
the person. I
Right.
just channel and just have to have like a notebook, and I could throw a lot of notebooks because I leave everybody with like a book, whatever I write. Go through a lot of ink pens. So yeah.
I love that.
This holiday, I wear a size Sharpie gel pen and some
Right.
yay tall, yay big notebooks.
Right. Yeah. I'm third house sun and Mercury, so I feel that. I've got
Mhm.
a lot of writing utensils everywhere.
And that's
So,
my ruling planet, so he has a lot to say.
right. Yes, you definitely give that vibe off. Very mercurial. And I think that's where you're able to just pull through this kind of deep wisdom and it just feels like a direct connection. It's very natural and
Sometimes
yeah,
it feels that way.
yeah. So you've talked a little bit about yoga and Reiki when you had
Mhm.
sent me some of the things ahead of time. How have these disciplines supported your creative and spiritual practices?
It keeps me from going insane. I got into Reiki, like, I think it's been a little over a year since I had my Reiki 1 and 2. And I've been doing yoga every day except for Sundays since on a regular basis since like 2015. So, like, it's just part of my daily thing, no different than eating, sleeping, brushing my teeth.
Mhm.
Um, and I kind of combine them for personal reasons.
Mhm.
I open up the Reiki channels and I, do, depending on how much time I have, sometimes I don't get to all my body parts, but I do that and create a sacred circle before, filled with white light and Reiki energy before I even start my yoga session.
Mhm.
And then I do my yoga and I can just feel it, the Reiki energy just coursing through. And it really helps. Like if the dog slept with me and I've got a cramp in my and like, oh, that leg don't want to bend that way. Or my back, just anything like that. But and then when I close it, like after I'm done with the yoga portion, then I close it with, meditation and gratefulness and, calling to forth the different deities that, and, and it's just something that I just feel, like awake, aware, and even before I have my tea. So it's just one of those things that is just kind of become part of me and has kept me grounded on a very daily basis. And if I don't happen to, for whatever reason, sometimes it happens, I don't have time for Reiki and yoga, um, then I just kind of feel like I'm just kind of just everywhere.
Mhm.
And depending on the planets, I might still feel that way anyway.
Right. Right. Sometimes you just gotta have the experience. You can't fully dodge it. So.
Yes, true, true. But it has been a wonderful experience and it's been wonderful for self healing. I probably should actually practice and do Reiki on people. Like, have all the things, do it. I just felt like it's like when it's the right time and someone
Mhm.
asks me, then I'll be ready. But no one's
Mhm.
asked me yet. So,
Right. I'm the same way with Reiki. I've been able to do it for like 10 years and it's just so personal. It's a part of my deeply personal practice. I've never really sent it to anyone unless it was like distance and like they were in the hospital or something. I've been like, would you like me to send you some? But it's just something I weave into my little daily routine. I don't know. Some people like they just go straight into working with others, but I feel you on that. It's hard to know when you're so multifaceted, like which things are for you and like which things do we share with the collective. And like you said, the timing, it's like there's going to be a day where you're like, oh, today's the day.
right. Or somebody's just gonna really need it.
Uh-huh.
And I'll do like Reiki for my dogs. Like, Thor and Nasa are always in the room with me whenever I'm doing Reiki and yoga. And sometimes they're not in the mood.
Mm-hmm.
When Nasa is in the mood, she will come and sit in my lap.
Right.
And she'll be like, all right, Reiki me, mama.
Right.
And Thor doesn't unless he's like, just do my butt. Because that's his favorite scratchy place is right above his tail. And he'll put his butt in my face, like Reiki my butt, but don't touch anywhere else. Okay.
Very intentional with his
Yes,
where he
yes,
would like to receive it.
yes, exactly.
I love that. So, what is some advice that you would offer to those who are beginning to explore witchcraft or holistic self-care?
Ooh, I like this one. Um, Definitely follow what your instincts are telling you, what that pull is, what draws you in, and go down the rabbit hole. And then when you find something else that makes you feel the same way, turn left or right or straight forward, down, up. Just follow all the like little tunnels because
Mm.
it's a journey. You are never, ever, ever, ever going to learn enough. You're just not. And there's no wrong way to witch or just be pagan or be a Christian witch or anything that floats your fancy on your path. It doesn't matter what, um, any type of pantheon that you are drawn to, or um, you may not even be drawn to any deities at all. You may only, you know, just want to do crafting and spell work or things of that. There's no wrong way to do it. Now if you want to be an ass and do something mean towards other people, well, then I feel sorry for you and karma may have you. But other than that, like, if you're leading with light and love in your heart for yourself and others, then there's no wrong way. I mean, you can take anything, and you don't have to have like a lot of tools. You can go outside and pull some blades of grass and thank the earth for it, and find some sticks and just dance around them if you want, and set some dirty rocks that you got to rub off on your pants and say, okay, this one's the rock, and do the thing. There's nothing wrong with however you want to go with.
Mm-hmm.
You can be, witch in the kitchen, witch outside, witch when you're outside doing whatever, washing your car. I mean, anything that you do on a regular basis, whether it's your tea, infusing your water. There's just so much. There's,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you said it was about an hour and a half of this podcast, but we wouldn't have this even an entire hour and a half to talk about everything that you can do in amongst the craft, or, you know, pagan community, or any of these things. So I just say that, whatever float your boat, go and try it out and see what makes you happy, because regret is worse. I mean, fear is worse. Self-doubt sucks too. So you know and it's healing. Whenever you're putting your heart and soul into anything, no matter what it is, it's healing, because you're healing your soul. We're all not all made to just, you know, put on some boots and a work hat or a uniform and go out and do the daily grind until our knuckles bleed. We got blisters on our feet, and we have 5 minutes to get the kids, come back, make dinner, get their homework going, do whatever it is that they need to do. And oh, look, you got 10 minutes before bed, and you got to decide what you're going to do with that time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of just based on individuals and what their needs are, and what they need to do. And, if they got to do a little witchcraft to get it out of that shit job, then they can.
Right?
Win
Yeah.
that lottery, get that new job.
Yeah. I've never been able to do the lottery thing. I'm like, this is an auspicious day to lose $10 on the lottery because I don't know. That's never been my path, but hopefully it works for somebody. I really like how you're, kind of just calling people to just really follow their heart or follow what's lighting them up, because I think it's hard, especially in certain parts of the world where we have these dogmas that we've been raised around, and it's like there's this concrete set of how you must do things, and everything's so ritualistic, and there's just this all these beliefs, and we have to all believe the same things. And one of the reasons I felt called to explore, the pagan path is because I really can't box myself in. I just, I never had to like leave Christianity. I just was like, okay, I'm ready for level two. I'm ready for level three. I just wanted to keep expanding. I wanted to learn more and more. And that was one of the things that felt so good about it is I'm like, oh, there's no wrong way to do this. I mean, I can literally just follow whatever my curiosity is drawing me towards in this moment. I mean, what a beautiful practice. And I think some people, it's hard to like split from that, the dogmatic energy of like, you have to do it a certain way. And some people, I think, actually will restrict their own magic because they're like, oh, I don't have time, or it has to look like this, and it has to be full moon, it has to be. And I'm like, ritual is beautiful. Like, there are definitely times where my magic is very ritualistic. And then sometimes it's so simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. It can literally just be like me imagining the thing and sending it out. And I think it's important for people to know that, right? And wherever
Mhm.
you're at, like if you've had a really long day, like you were saying, like you only got 10 minutes, You don't have to get the candles out, okay? You don't have to set up a crystal grid that day. You don't have to even write that day. What if you just like gave yourself a chance to meditate,
Mm-hmm.
take some deep breaths, set some intentions? I mean, it can just be so simple. And that's the beauty of this path is it meets
Mm-hmm.
you where you are. And some days I absolutely love like going way over the top. My altar's full of flowers and there's beautiful smells in the house and of, clearing stuff, but it doesn't have to be like that every single day or every single
Mm-mm.
time. And every moment is magical. So even if we're just resting, I mean, we're still calling it magic even when we're just being. I think that's another thing too that's important
Mm-hmm.
to help because I think people are just like they're like I don't know, I can't do this. I can't do this. I don't have time to do this. And I'm like it doesn't have to be that restrictive. It's
Oh yeah. They don't call it sympathetic magic for nothing.
right.
And control doesn't spirituality make either,
Hmm.
in regards to what you were talking about, like if certain cultures and people's making things very controlling. You have to do
Hmm.
A, B, C, D, and this is how you are until you die. And by the time you get to that age, well, your retirement will no longer be available to you, and you're
Hmm.
just going to work until you drop dead on the on the factory line.
Right.
So, it's. Uh, I think more people are waking up to
Hmm.
that control does not make for good spirituality practices.
Hmm. Right. And even the rules that we hear, there's some things like, oh, you have to be gifted your first tarot deck, or there's just some things that float around. And I feel like it's just some kind of way of gatekeeping. I don't know who started these things, but just ask yourself, does that even sound true to me? I ain't waiting on nobody to get me nothing, okay? Like I am such an independent. I'm an Aries, so like I am not gonna sit around and say, well, when somebody deems me correct, I will get my magical tool. And I think it's just those little things and these like it's like that superstition and then it
Yeah.
creates fear. Well, who do you think planted those seeds? The people that don't want you playing with tarot cards because it's
Exactly.
restrictive,
Yes.
so how many of us would be even practicing if we had to wait around on somebody to give us something versus going out and seeking it, bonding with it, picking it yourself? I mean, that is so much more empowering anyways.
Right. We'd look
So
like the skeletal memes. Those memes or skeletons that say, well, I was waiting for.
right, cobwebs everywhere.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think it's also important to know those little rules that you hear, filter them through your own discernment and just say,
Yeah.
does this actually sound true for me? You know, because I get it, like things like karma and stuff, there is some structure to reality. There are some things to keep in mind. And
Mm-hmm.
then there's also times when
Right.
we have to just kind of take that leap and just be like, well,
Right. I think the only thing we really have to wait on as far as like getting tools of the trade and stuff is whenever our paycheck hits our bank account.
exactly.
It's the only way
Right.
we got.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So I definitely have had to kind of put my foot down with certain people that are like trying to limit the way that I practice. Like, oh, you got to do it this way, or oh, I can't believe you pulled cards for such a stupid superficial. I'm like, look, I pull cards for whatever I want to pull cards for. Don't tell me
Right.
how to use my magic. Um, but there's something about the process where we get more and more empowered, I think, in that decision and be like, well, I did it because I felt called to do it, And as long as we're not harming people and we're doing things from a place of love, I'm just not even worried about it because I'm like, there's nothing negative about magic. It's literally this beautiful, the most powerful creative force that we have. And I'm not gonna be like, oh no, I had a crappy thought while I was doing that spell. Like I'm not even gonna no fear here, I ain't putting no fear in any of my magical stuff. Like I'm gonna assume the most positive outcome no matter what. But I think fear is kind of the thing that we have to break
Mm-hmm.
through as we're doing it, and just shifting that from that dogmatic kind of perspective that I think is just like collective, the collective has been bound by rules so long. And
Yeah.
then, I got too much Aquarius in me to like just bend the knee. So I'm like, is this rule actually make any damn sense? No. Okay. Well, I'm not doing
Right?
it.
Well, the trees don't, live their lives and change their leaves for whenever someone wants them to.
Right.
They have their cycle just like everything else on the planet. And we do too if we actually listen.
Right. Yeah, timing is an art, but I think with our own intuition, like we'll feel call like even without looking at a chart, without pulling a card, you're gonna know in your gut, like something's
Mhm.
about to shift. Like I got 2 weeks, something's about to shift. I don't know what it is. Going and have a reading is cool because you can get a little clarity about what you're already feeling. So sometimes just seeing that picture on the card or having a person say like this thing, and then you have the synchronicity and you're like, oh, I can trust that more. But it really is our own intuition. It's your
Mhm.
intuition that's guiding you to get the reading. It's your
Yes.
intuition that's telling you to leave the job. And so, I just feel like the more you follow those calls, it's like easier to trust your intuition because you're like,
So you get
actually, it's
those aha moments.
right, right. I don't think it ever has steered me astray, you know? So, so you've talked about writing books and songs. How does the inspiration for this creative process usually strike you? Is there a specific ritual or rhythm that you weave into this process?
Oh gosh. It just kind of comes to me. Sometimes it comes to me in dreams. The Magic of the Chosen Ones started out in a dream, and I got up and wrote the dream down. And it was just like I'd watched the movie or something.
Mm-hmm.
Um, some of the other ideas, uh, and this is going to be a TMI moment, everyone out there,
Perfect.
but I don't know why, whenever I'm buck naked in the shower, stuff just comes to me. Or
Yeah.
after, right before the shower, or it's like whenever, as soon as I get naked, I get ideas. I don't know why. I'm not
Right. Well,
even
there's like an
joking.
openness, to nakedness. I feel like it does open you up because you're not
Yeah, you're
restricted.
vulnerable.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
vulnerable. And water is intuitive. So
Mm-hmm.
water itself is very, it's intuition itself. So I really feel like sometimes I could just be washing my hands. And as soon as that water, I'm in connected with water. And I don't have any of like, I probably do in the chart. I know I do in my chart, but like, I'm a Virgo rising, and a Taurus moon. So at least those three are not water signs. But
Right.
I think just because I connect with the elements so much
Mm-hmm.
as an earth sign, you
Right.
know.
Well, water is complementary.
Yeah.
So earth is like holding you, but water makes it malleable. So I can see
Mhm.
that kind of like giving you the freedom. I see earth as like clay, and if it's all hard and there's no water, it's already made its form. But when you add water, now you're like, oh, well, I can be flexible.
Right, right. That's how
So,
flowers grow.
right. Yes.
But yeah, for the most part, that's kind of how it goes as far as like um the creative things. Musically, uh I've not been playing guitar very long, and I cannot play someone else's songs to save my life. I mean, I have a few things that, if it's like right there and immediate, and someone is saying this is how it goes, and
Hmm.
then I can monkey see monkey do, but 5 minutes later I don't remember.
Right.
But I started kind of just playing with the chords, um, and doing different things that I've seen in cheat sheets, or just how like pressing, the chords together, like, hey, this sounds cool, you know,
Hmm.
and I'll write it down. But usually lyrics come to me a lot easier than music, but music comes if I'm actually in process and playing the guitar. So
Hmm.
that's been really neat to finally combine them, because I've been writing songs and poetry since I was 12. So it's like, and I still have a lot of stuff, but to finally be able to play and put lyrics together has been pretty cool. I don't have the confidence yet to film myself
Hmm.
or anything of that nature yet, but maybe I will. Maybe, I'll just kind of set it aside and just ignore it and just play, and I don't know, see what happens. The worst they can do is just boo me and swipe left.
I'm sure it's fantastic. Yeah. Yeah, magic is so not magic, music. I was like, they almost sound the same. Music is so magical, it really is like getting yourself in this flow state. You do have to learn some maybe structural things just to make you more confident, but once you get that down, that framework, I mean, it just starts to pour in. And I don't write my own songs yet, so you're an inspiration to me. But I have grown so much just like my confidence and my ability to just I don't know, like recognize beauty in the world around me has increased. I don't know how to explain it, but music changes you as a person. It like really helps you open up and start to see the world and writing too. So now like you're out in a field of flowers and you're thinking all sorts of these lines start to come to you. And it really is just opening yourself up to it because I think everybody has the ability.
Oh
I
yeah.
think some of us are just a little bit more open. And so when we're sitting under that tree and that tree starts to tell us the song, or, we start to be inspired by a cloud formation or whatever, it's like, oh, that's a song. Like I can write this down. I can weave this in somehow. But I don't know. I feel like it's opened up my sensitivities more, writing and playing music. So that's cool to meet another person that's kind of playing around with that because I don't have very many musician friends. So when you told me you play guitar some, I was like, "What? This is so fun."
Yeah. I love watching your videos of you singing and playing
Thank you.
because I'm just like, oh, that's so awesome.
Right. I feel like I'm an amateur for sure, but I'm learning the chords better by um practicing more and more and building that confidence. But I have this feeling one day I'm just going to start writing my own stuff because I do write poems. I haven't never written a song.
It's the same
Um
thing.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I just gotta, then you gotta repeat a line a couple times and you make it a chorus. But I do think it'll speak to me. There's gonna be some kind of perfect timing for that. But yeah, that's really beautiful. I love the way that you weave your magic together. So with your like your filmmaking and your writing, do these all like revolve around a certain theme or are they kind of all unique? Like is it magical based or
As far as like the films go, I'd only done the one for the film festival and then two others, that I was like, I wrote the scripts for them and had a very good friend to help out, and another good friend to help out, and then we kind of all just we're all great team players, and so I'm not great at formatting the script. It's one of those things that I need to like buckle down and just do. There's apps for that. I need to.
right? Now there's just too many options for help and it's hard to know. I swear it's gotten more
Exactly.
complex as they simplify.
Yes, yes, I know. But I mean, that was a lot of fun. And, I had a very good teacher teach me how to do the direction thing and being a director. And to me, that came, I don't know, maybe as a Virgo to be like, okay, so we're doing this and this and this. Now you go on and do your thing and just make this character who you feel like this character is. I'm not going to be bossy britches, but I did notice with myself in directing that I try to be like, boost that confidence with my actor and like tell them, hey, you got this. Don't overthink it. Just kind of put yourself in someone else's shoes. And that's kind of like, um, anytime I've done any acting for other people or being, especially doing the crime murder documentaries, and stuff, working with Jupiter and stuff, and being part of the talent track troupe. Um, with reenactments, most of the time there's no sound. So you really have to play and pantomime and try to think about, wow, this character was a real piece of work. Okay. And I got to try to be like a psychopath. Okay. Or be a victim or whatever it is. But when you're on that side of the camera, then it's a lot easier to, I think, become a director, because you know how it feels to be, even especially for the longest time, is mostly all background work, all just kind of featured. Like, you get to see me way back here, and you're like, yeah, that's me. Or, the first time I actually got to have lines, and that was really nerve-wracking. And it's like, my first time was really awkward, because like, I would never say that, but I had to
Mm-hmm.
think about, like, you are not you. You have to be this person. So that was my, like, first time of doing it, and I just felt like I totally botched it. But once I got used to it, then it was a lot
Mm-hmm.
easier. So writing scripts is a lot different than writing novels, because you're limited with the script in detail. You have to be very dialogue, dialogue, dialogue. Okay, A, B, C, D happens. Okay, this person has to do A, B, C, D. It's very just like in a box, literally. Even the script looks like it's in a big box once you print the sucker out. Um, but with books, there's a lot more detail. You have to show people, because no one can see it on a TV
Mm-hmm.
or on a big screen. You have to show people what they want to see. So I decided that my goal after writing those scripts, I'm going to make a book out of that.
Mm-hmm.
So last year, I tried to, do that. And I worked very, very hard in turning those two scripts that I actually filmed, and then the one prequel script that was not filmed, and roll that into a novel, which actually just came out this Halloween, The Chess Player Murders. And that was the hardest thing, to go in reverse and have to add detail to something that was not detailed. I went back and watched the films just to like have some like visual direction and
Mm-hmm.
like how that went. Because it wasn't something like the other books where it kind of came to me organically. Now the scripts came to me organically when I wrote the scripts, but to go back into that energy and to animate that energy and to pull it forward,
Mm-hmm.
that was a trick. That was hard. I don't want to do that again. Um, it'll be go novel, then script.
Yeah.
Smart. Anybody else want to do that? That's great. You can go in reverse. But
Mm-hmm.
for me personally, I don't want to go in reverse again. I thought about it with that other one I did for the film festival. Like, well, I could do that script and I can make a whole story out of that. Luckily, it's just one script and not three. Then it'd be a little bit easier to take that and just be a basis to write a whole story. But that's for a later time.
So, for people that would like to purchase that book, do you have those available in like one spot? Because I know you have the book that just came out. Are there other books besides
Oh
that
yeah,
one that are
yeah.
okay?
The Magic of the Chosen One series, the Amulet of Elements, the Fate of the Realm, and the Path of Destiny. Um, those are all the high fantasy books. The start of a long series. I will get back to it. I swear, if you guys are fans of the Magic of the Chosen One series, I will get back to that. Um, but anywhere books are sold. Same with, and I do have copies. If you want autographs, I can, provide those and autograph
Mhm.
them for you. The My Love Inside Me and the Chess Player Murders are part of a new universe called the Curran Files that I had started. This is going to be a very interesting universe, and like universes and not set series. These are going to be not in order. They're going to be different genres. Each book is a different genre. Like the My Love Inside Me is more supernatural horror, with a lot of really like, whew, man, that's spicy kind
Yeah.
of scenes. And then the Chess Player Murders is a psychological thriller. Now, what ties the universe is the one character, Detective Anna Curran, and she comes in, rolls into town, and pretty much saves the day. She's snarky. She doesn't take any crap from anybody, and she does what she feels that she needs to do with the situation that calls for it. Um, I introduce her in My Love Inside Me, and that's a whole lot of play on words there. And in case there's any viewers under the age of 18, we will skip that.
Leave it to the imagination.
Yes, I'll say it's about possession. How's that? I'll give that little hint. Um, no one ever turned red, from just possession talk. Maybe holy water and a priest. But anywho, so she gets introduced in that book, and then she's in the Chess Player Murders. So, and then there's a couple that are waiting in line. One definitely is waiting in line. It's ready to be edited, and it's her prequel. I'll let in on that one. The one I just finished writing is my seventh novel. Mm. And I've been in editing mode. So if anybody out there has not really heard from me a whole lot, seen me on the socials or anything much, that's because I've been writing a novel. I started it last year, and I think I stopped when, the holidays hit, and I think Mercury retrograde hit in December last year. So like I got up through chapter 4 and I'm like, no. But this was a book that came to me, just the premise of the book just showed up one day and I wrote it down. I'm like, I'm going to get to this. Well, I got to it, changed some things, and it's now part of the Current Files universe. So I'm really excited about that one because it's an urban fantasy, and it's different. It's different for me. So I'm pretty proud of it. The one that is waiting in line is a romance. Yeah. So like cheesy romance. It's
I love romance stuff. I think everyone thinks I would be like more into thriller, but I'm like a romantic comedy girl all the way. Like that's my comfort stuff.
well, you'll like it then because it's definitely kind of got a little bit of everything in it, you
Hmm.
know, but it does feature the detective throughout the entire book because it's her prequel.
Hmm.
So I had a lot of people tell me that they just fell in love with the detective. They that was a favorite character out of the entire book. Uh, between the two. And I actually just got my first for the Chess Player Murders, I got my first review. So I haven't posted it yet just because I hadn't got to it.
Hmm.
But yeah, so that was really cool. And it's on the Amazon and Goodreads, the review is. So if anybody wants to go check it out, they can. I'll post it at some point because, yeah, authors have a really a difficult time. It's not like that, especially indie authors, you have to do your own promoting. And it's
Hmm.
word of mouth and reviews that help us to spread the word to other book lovers that, hey, over here, we exist. Just because, any of the really big major publishers that, put their ads up and, they pay for the authors to go here, there, and wherever, and have a lot of media things. And then famous people are reading their books, on in their famous book clubs and such that like don't forget us indie authors, because I would love to be in Reese Witherspoon's book club or have Morgan Freeman read my stuff or
Right.
yeah. I think that there's a few others that would definitely do my detective justice. Samuel L. Jackson. That's more his speed. Whereas Morgan Freeman would be more for the, fantasy series.
Mhm. Yeah, that's beautiful to see the diversity and how you're tying them all together. Like, I don't have too much time being in school to read as much fantasy as I used to, but there's going to be a point where I'll definitely have to dive in and get that experience of immersing myself into your beautiful series. And I think it is important to, support the rising, ones. Like these other people already have all this promotion and support and everything. And it's so hard to get your foot in the door, even if your work's great. And whether you're a writer, or a musician, or an artist, I mean, it's like we're just, I don't know, there's like some level like you have to like surpass before others start to really share. So I'm definitely calling anybody that can help promote you to maybe leave some of those comments, buy the book, share it with their friends because it really is helpful. I mean, word of mouth has like saved me in so
Mhm.
many ways. Like I would be like screwed if people didn't, share that way because it's impossible to really share anymore. Like you have to pay for every single ad. I
No.
mean, and I've never paid for an ad. So that's why I stay at the exact same number all the time because it's like I refuse. Like there's something about me that's just like I'm not going to pay for subscribers. But um, I think it is good to encourage those who've like worked with you or read these books to help kind of push and promote because I think that you deserve to be seen and it's hard when you know the work is good enough. And it's just like that barrier of just getting, some people to share it is hard, but I think that you will do amazing things and your stuff will continue. It's out there, you created it. Now you just kind of like wait until it continues to grow. They're like planting seeds.
Yeah, it is all like that. And yeah, like you, I don't want to pay for an algorithm. If I'm going to pay for advertisement, I'll rent a billboard.
Right. Yeah.
At least that would be seen on a regular
hmm
basis by however many people. Because your algorithm that you pay for still doesn't guarantee. I still have to
hmm
manually go into all my friends' pages to see what new things they've posted because I don't get to see it. I don't sit and just scroll.
Yeah.
So I go directly to their pages, track and see what they've done, and then share it
hmm
because, somebody's got to help.
Right.
And when you use the heart emojis or the care emojis, that actually gets more push through the algorithms than just giving
hmm
it a thumbs up. So I always try to make sure I do the care emoji, try to look like a creepy stalker doing the heart emoji. Um,
I do the heart. I'm like, if I ever did a like, somebody would probably think I'm in a piss poor mood that day because I try to do the heart. I think it is important whatever we can do to try to boost something and but it's hard to know like what did we do. Sometimes I'll make a joke and I'll get the care reaction. I'm like, I think they thought I was being serious. Like it was a joke. But whatever it is to help boost the things. But you do such an amazing job at representing the other people in your community. I mean, I don't know if I have another friend on my list that does as much networking and sharing of others' works. So, you do your own promotion, which is beautiful, but it is awesome that you also reach out a hand and help other creators get out there. So that is just definitely a blessing to all of us that know you that you use your feed to help lift others as well. And I feel like you're just such a great example of, you know, this beautiful witch that's like open to all witches succeeding. I mean, it feels so lovely. And I haven't always had that experience with other people. There's all this competition and this, you know, it's a
there's
whole
not
thing.
enough time in the day for competition.
Right. And
Oh
I've
my
never
gosh.
felt that with you. I've always felt like just anytime you have a chance to support somebody else, you do, and it's a beautiful example of how we could actually help each other to rise and we would all thrive and we would all get more readings. We would all sell more books.
Yes, because it's all about cross promotion. Like
Yes.
if a painter hooks up and cross promotes with somebody that's totally different out of their genre,
hmm
then those people who might like those things will
Hmm.
see, oh my gosh, I have to have that painting. And, or,
Right. They
oh
would
my
never
gosh,
see it.
I got to read that book, or I've
Yes.
got to listen to this song. It's everybody has that is in the creative networks. They're all
Hmm.
creative in their own unique way. Well, people that aren't creative like the creatives, though, but they
Hmm.
like so many different things, but they may not know about Jill over here or Bob over there or what Wendy and Sue does, because nobody's sharing enough. So,
Right.
and as far as like, the other readers or the other crafters or whatever it is that they do, it's really important to share that because everybody has something to learn from. It's
Mm.
like if someone asks me, well, who's your favorite pantheon? Well, I'm very eclectic. I think everybody in all the pantheons, except for the controlling asshats,
Hmm.
has something that we can learn from. And we can learn something from the asshats too. Like, don't be that way. Don't be
Right. What
an
not to do.
asshat. Don't be an asshat. Um, or ass butt, as Castiel from Supernatural would say. But anyway, it's all very important. I don't feel threatened by someone else up the road or whatever coming in and doing something that I'm doing.
Hmm.
I'm not bothered by it at all. Now, if someone comes and says, you're doing that wrong, and
Right.
that's
That's
not how it
different.
should be doing, that's totally different. But you do you, I do me, and I'm going to help you and get you out there too, because I bet I've got a friend somewhere on my list,
Hmm.
in the 5,000 or however many followers I have, that they're going to like your work.
Hmm.
And whether or not I like it is not the point. I'm still going to share it. Nine
Right.
times out of 10, I'm going to like it. But personally, but you know, it mostly boils down to, wow, I can't afford that, but I love it. So I'm going to share it with someone else so someone
Right.
else can like love it. And then I'll see them wearing it, holding it, listening to it. And then I can just live vicariously through them.
Right. Right. And know that you helped make that connection, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. Because, you know, a lot more things would be achieved if we all held hands and
Yes.
connected and talked about things instead of pointing fingers. And we don't have time to point fingers if
Right.
it's really
Exactly.
hard to kind of do that. But yeah, I mean, right now, and I'm not gonna make like a celebrity and say my personal viewpoints, but um life's hard right now. Life
Hmm.
is just a big pool of just a rerun of a shit show that nobody wanted to watch.
Hmm.
We'd rather just watch the static on the TV or those rainbow lines whenever the TV, network shut
Yeah.
down for the night and you wake up, you're like hearing that, what is that noise?
Right. Am I
Lighted
hallucinating? What are
by
all
the
these?
rainbow on the screen. I miss TV like that.
Yes.
But anywho, but yeah, I mean, the only thing that we have right now for, that we can do to overpower is not just have love and respect for one another, but to share that love and respect through our art, no
Hmm.
matter what it is. And maybe if we do that and we pay attention and to listen to our higher selves instead of our ego, you know, we might get a little bit more work done.
Right. Yeah. Anytime I do a collaboration or share someone else's work, I feel like it always is like mutually beneficial, you know? Like it never feels like, oh, well, I just gave up that work to somebody else. It's not like that. I mean, it's just because then they share your stuff. I mean, it's such that's what community is. And I think we
Yeah.
just there's no examples. And so people are they're in that competitive nature because so many of us are struggling financially. We're struggling to survive. So when we see another beautiful witch doing the same thing, we're like, "Oh no, I'm scared." No. when one of us rises, we all rise,
Yes.
especially if we're doing the symbiotic thing. Now, I don't want to just share somebody 24/7. They never even like a single thing on my page. That's gonna feel like I'm giving too much out. So I think it's important to make note of those that are pouring back into us and make sure we're doing what we can to build each other up. I mean, we have to fight these stupid algorithms, and it's like it's just those
And
little.
AI.
Yeah, right. Right. If you see a genuine person making stuff that comes from their own like creative expression, just hit share, right? Just hit share, just or send it to your friend that you know would love that because
Hmm.
it's like their vibe. That's how we say F the algorithm, and we're networking within our own
Hmm.
community, right? So keeping it small is actually beautiful, and
Hmm.
just pouring back in. And I just don't know if there's great examples. So I love people like you. I love talking about this topic here right now because I think it is important. I think it's, if we're all going to succeed, we have to do something
Yep.
together. We have to
And
build each other up.
same thing with the small businesses. You got to help and share the small businesses, even if you can't afford to shop or buy something,
Hmm.
extravagant. Just go and get something. The holidays are
Right.
coming up. Go buy from one of your favorite small shops, the Mystic Orb, Guy's Wisdom, Earth's Core, the Sacred Owl Salt Room, the one in Turkey Creek. Why am I not thinking about their name right now? It's kind of the Pinnacle in North Knoxville. Is it North Knoxville? I'm not very good with like directions.
So look,
Um, yeah, small bookstores. Mr. K's, Southland Books. All of these local places. Fabled Forest. Did I say their name right? I think they're in North Knoxville too.
right.
Tiny
I have been to that
bookstore.
one, but I can't think of but Fable's in it. I know that part's
Yes,
right.
yes. But like go and shop small, like
Hmm.
Walmart and Amazon and Target, they don't all have to have your money. They're not gonna miss out on, you know, being able to buy toys for the holidays for their kids or
Right.
buy a meal for Thanksgiving for their family. But small businesses, that's what they rely on. So get your booties out there and go shop small,
Right.
because gift from the heart that you actually put thought into is going to mean way more than going through the aisles at Walmart
Hmm.
and seeing all these generic gifts that are pre-wrapped, or it's just one of those massage cushions that you stick your feet in or have on your neck, or you know makeup kits or perfume bags. There's other people that make really good things
Right.
that will last a lifetime in someone's heart and
Hmm.
never want to get rid of it. But you know what? Those back massagers and things like that, they're not going to last long. You're going to throw it in the closet, you're going to forget about it, and you're going to pull it
Hmm.
out, and there's going to be mercury coming out from the battery dying.
Right.
And
Yes.
nobody's going to care about that.
Hmm.
Nobody's going to care about the chocolate of the month club or, their a generic prime with wish list. They're going to want something that somebody's put something thought into.
Hmm.
So that I'm going to step off my soapbox now on that, but that's
Yes.
very important to me as far as
Hmm.
like, and you were talking about sharing on the algorithms. I mean, that's important too, to get people to these places, and then once you actually go and visit, you know, tell your friends, buy, even if you're just buying a $3 box of incense, that
Right.
still
It's
adds
usually what I
up.
end up doing.
It
If I
still
go
adds up.
into a magical store, I am definitely leaving with a box of incense. I don't care if I only have $5.
Right. Whenever
I
I
will.
set up at the Mystic Orb, I suggest people getting a gift card. If
Hmm.
they're going to use, if they don't have cash or something to pay for a reading and they want to use a card, I'm like, "Oh, go get me a gift card because
Hmm.
I have a list that I need of things,
Right.
and this will be way better. It helps the business and it
Hmm.
helps me get the goodies,
Right.
and not having one of those things. Okay, well, do I buy this because I need it for the house, or, oh, I really need this and I want this for me, but I still got to buy shampoo for my kid. I don't want to have to
Mhm.
have that decision making, or, oh, this has got to get paid or the lights are getting turned off. Okay. So, you know, it's the same thing. Like if I'm doing readings or something, get a gift card. I'm
Mhm.
perfectly happy with that because then I'm guilt free when I buy my incense and buy
Right.
things that I want. I
Yes.
don't have to put that towards the household budget. So,
Right. Yeah, I started thinking differently when we had the episode on feng shui and the woman was talking about like when you buy art from a creator versus like Ross that has like 10 billion of the same prints and who knows if it was even a human that made it. Like the
right.
chi, it holds chi. And I think it's the same thing when you shop like local, even if they didn't make it there. I think the fact that it's been in their shop with them, that they're pouring their heart and soul into,
Mhm.
I think that those incense are more magical than like the ones you
Yeah.
get at one.
At
I don't know
Walmart.
if Walmart, I don't even know if Walmart sells it. They probably sell
They
some
do.
chemically
They
toxic,
sell
trashy
generic.
incense.
Yes, they sell a lot of incense, but it's
Give you
all
a
like
reaction.
fake perfumes, a lot of chemicals added and stuff. And I don't know, there's just something magical about going in to someone's metaphysical store
Hmm.
and that energy that is just circling around because you have, the aromatic energy.
Hmm.
You have the grounding energy from any of the stones that they might be carrying. You have the heart, soul, and love from any of the local vendors that has
Hmm.
put that energy into that product that is in the shop. So you have
Right.
all of these different things and feelings and energies that, I could have the worst shit day
Uh-huh.
and go into one of those places and be in there. Wow, I feel so much better. I've only been sitting in here like 10 minutes,
Right.
but you just feel better. I've
Hmm.
noticed a lot of people coming in and out of the shops, and sometimes they've come in and they're real upset and they need, guidance or something that, to make them feel better. And even just them walking around for like 10, 15 minutes, their entire aura, energy, and everything has just shifted like this 180 evolution of duh.
Right.
It's amazing.
It is.
And I don't know, I think when you walk into Walmart or Target or any of those places, Hobby Lobby, you walk in and you got everybody's grumpy energy that's still just
Hmm.
sticking to everything. Or you walk past somebody and you're like,
Right. And just
so,
let's not even start with the lighting. Okay.
oh, I
I
know.
can't do the lighting. I literally am like, I feel like I'm hallucinating. And someone actually told me that it's been proven that they do some weird shit with the lighting now that makes you feel disoriented. So you'll buy more stuff. And I'm like, oh, thanks. Because I thought I was just crazy. Because every time I go into Walmart, I feel so weird. I'm like, my visual, I'm like, I can't focus. So you don't got that stuff in the metaphysical shops.
No. Well, everybody's so, whenever you're in like the regular run of the mill CEO corporations places, you have that tunnel vision,
Hmm.
but then you have everybody else's energies and stuff that's going on. And depending, a lot of people are sensitive and don't know it.
Hmm.
And so they take in all that junk and then they just kind of splatter it everywhere. It's like
Uh-huh.
one of my dogs coming in from a rainstorm and they start shaking and mud and water goes everywhere. That's kind of like how walking into Walmart is.
Right.
Honestly, I'd rather get shucked by a wet, stinky dog, though.
Yes. Phew, I know. I go into Walmart only to buy my dog's insulin. That's it. Because it's like the only place it's like $50 cheaper or something at the Walmart. And I'm like, so I usually send my husband because I actually feel so crappy going in there. But I mean, I'm not saying there's not a reason why sometimes Walmart might be the thing, but
Right.
yeah, limiting that to only necessities that have to come from there is
Yeah,
has been
your
really
household
great.
necessities and things like food, stuff like that. Sure, go to Walmart, go to Kroger,
Right.
go to places like that. But when you're buying something that is
Hmm.
art,
Yes.
handmade, jewelry, things of that, candles,
Hmm.
stuff that's knitted, painted, written on, whatever, go buy those gifts.
Right.
You don't need a Hallmark candle from Walmart that is probably filled with more toxins and parabens to go out
Hmm.
into that you're going to, end up with cancer in 5 years
Right.
from.
Whew.
Go and get a local candle that that there's like three whole ingredients in that sucker, maybe
Right.
4 or 5, depending on which blend of essential oils went in there.
Yes.
you
Yes, I
know
love
so
looking for local makers that make things that I need. Like if I use a body scrub, I'm like, okay, is there a local maker? I'm
mhm,
gonna filter through that before I go to a big store to. And some things, I might not know anyone that does that, but it just feels so nice, to know
mhm,
what the ingredients, to know that I'm helping a family.
yeah,
And it's the magic that's infused in it because like I was saying with the chi, I mean, if you're getting it from a person that's making it, they're pouring their love and passion into it, and now that's in it. It's like the essence of that person's love
mhm,
is in the object or,
mhm.
the lotion or whatever it is. So,
Yeah. It's
um,
not 15J that's in the factory line. Ah, it's strong.
right. That affects it, man. That affects it. You buying stuff from people that are just run ragged and depressed and making
Mhm.
pennies a day. That's
Yeah.
gonna be in the object. I guess they would call that woo. It's gonna be sad. It's gonna feel ugh. You're gonna have to
It's
cleanse it just to put it on.
and it'll make you Delulu. That's the new word,
Right.
Tyler. Delulu.
Yes, absolutely. I
It's when
love
our
that we've
woo woo gets like off
right.
off the chain.
Yes. Yes. So, for those who we would like to purchase your books or just follow you or come have a reading with you, is there a landing spot where they can go to connect with you more?
Okay, so books wise, if you want to order them, they are literally anywhere books are sold.
Hmm.
You could probably go to the Walmart website and find books
After we
like
shit
that.
talk Walmart
Yeah.
too.
If you would like them from me, I autograph them and hook you up with some bookmarks. And I write nice things in there. I really personalize it. Readings, I'm at the Mystic Orb every other Wednesday usually. And then Guy's Wisdom, I'm there Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm on all the socials for the most part. Facebook, Instagram, the thing formerly known as Twitter. Um, I'm on LinkedIn. I have a Patreon, but I've not been active on there in so long that they told me I had to re-sign in. So I just haven't done that yet. TikTok, although I'm not as active on social media as I was or I was trying to be. It just wasn't, I don't have all that much time. Honestly, it's easier just to find all my friends and just share their stuff instead of making content. I try to get like, okay, I have 5 minutes. I'm going to get a whole lot of pictures in and I'm going to scatter them out through a couple of days' time. And then I'm like, hey, check out my new.
Remind people that you exist.
Yeah, I'm here. And I feel so bad that in the mornings I don't have time for like the witchy morning selfie or the daily life path number thing that I was doing, or even the new thing that I was doing with astrology and numerology. I forgot what I was even calling that. I think it was like a horoscope thing based on that. Like I would take the day of the week, a lot like I do with the daily life path number, but I would actually include all of the numbers of all the planets and whatever in each individual sign, and then add it up, and then that would be okay, this equals to the daily life path meaning. And that's what it would be, just for a daily inspiration for people to like, hey, so I apologize for anybody that's missed that. Now I just like, I can give you that if you come get a reading. I
Hmm.
can.
It takes a lot of energy to post daily about something. I mean, that's like a whole commitment. I ain't got time for that. I'm like, I'll post when I feel inspired.
Yeah, like, well, it's not even about that. It's literal time. Like, by the time,
Hmm.
I'm getting done with my morning rituals and, rotating out like dogs to go to the bathroom and getting that done. That's like 30 minutes to 45 minutes
Hmm.
just to do that. And then getting ready to go to any of the shops that I sit down and read at. But I've learned to multitask while I'm at the shops.
Hmm.
I If you come into Gaia's Wisdom, most likely I'm going to be in the back writing a book or editing
Hmm.
a book, or
Hmm.
I've brought my guitar in there to play and sing to myself. So just because there's a lot of space in there and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty easy to find. If I don't respond right away, it's usually Facebook's fault because sometimes I don't get the messages, so I have to manually, periodically go in and see if I have messages. But other than that, you can just show up at any of the places at any given time and say, "Hey, what's up?"
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, I deeply appreciate you making the time to come on the show and share your beautiful life and your gifts and your creativity and your love with us today. It's just been an honor to have you
I'm
today.
honored to be on the show. I kept like watching. I wonder if she's ever going to ask me. I don't want to like offer like, "Hey, can I be on your show?" But I
Yeah.
thought, well, when the time is right.
Right. Yes. I was like, okay, you
I'm
have to
glad
have
it's
you
right
on.
now.
Yes, yes, it's just been perfect. So, thank you so much
Oh,
for all
thank
that you
you.
do for the community and for just sharing your heart with the world. So, and thank you all for tuning in. Check us out next time on the Astral Hour.